As I think most of you know from history, there was a lot happening with Iron Man when they tried to kick off an independent studio that could have gone various different ways. From different actors that were approached to possibly play the character, such as Tom Cruise, to various iterations of the story that ultimately ended up being the film we got. Now Kevin Feige opens up on why exactly Iron Man was picked to be the main character to kick off this entire initiative. Now yes, before we get into it, we know why Iron Man was picked. They didn't have the Hulk, they didn't have Spider-Man, they didn't have Fantastic Four, they didn't have the X-Men, and they were also missing another handful of big characters, and Warner Brothers was about to buy Captain America, so nothing was looking good. Oh, and Sony still had Thor. Yeah, it was a different time in like 2005. But Kevin Feige opens up about this, and as always, the article will be linked down below for you guys, and of course up on the screen right now. And this is what Kevin Feige says in regards to why it was Tony Stark and Iron Man. We really believed in the character of Tony Stark. We believed in being able to do a version of a hero that people hadn't seen before. The redemption arc that he goes through the film. And the notion that it's not superpowers, it's a vehicle. And the vehicle sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. That his intellect is the superpower, we thought was very interesting. The notion of epic storytelling that encompasses the same character through many different periods was something we were interested in. And then he goes on about how the character spanned out into obviously the MCU. So if we take a step back, some of you might not remember this. I remember following San Diego Comic-Con the year they showed off the trailer, and I remember a leaked trailer came out, and I just remember sitting there and watching it and being absolutely like blown away by it while everybody around me laughed, saying, Iron Man, that can't go anywhere. Nobody likes the character. It's not even like a powered guy who's gonna want that. He's going up against these other big films coming out. There's no way he can make money. And ultimately, I think that's exactly what helped him. You know, if you look at what Kevin Feige said about the redemption arc, about the fact that his suit can sometimes work and cannot, and the fact that it was about Tony Stark first and foremost, but Iron Man is sort of the vessel and he's the cool aspect of it, that's why it worked. I remember, you know, going to the theater, and it was the first time I ever witnessed a line for a film that wasn't Star Wars. It kind of blew me away, and then obviously the film went on to be a huge global hit at the time, but nobody saw that coming. And I think Iron Man was probably the best choice. Had it been reversed, were they going with like Captain America or Thor or maybe even the Hulk came out first, I think we'd be in a completely different position today, because if evidence is anything to go by from history, Thor and the first Captain America and Incredible Hulk all barely made any money. But Iron Man really carried the entire universe on his back. So it's interesting to see him kind of open up about this, just be like, look, we believed in it, and the crowd accepted it because confidence.